The venue door clicked behind me, and the music thumped like a heartbeat I couldn't calm. I held a small gift and a wilting corsage. Then her fiancé stepped in front of me, palm on my chest, a hired guard at his shoulder. "You're not on the list," he said, and the word "not" hit harder than his hand. I could hear my daughter laugh inside. I saw our name on the seating chart when I walked in. I kept my voice even, asked to speak with her. He smiled, cold and thin, like a lock clicking. In that moment, love, respect, and control all stood in a tight circle, and he chose control. This is my daughter's wedding, and it's a true-to-life story Reddit readers binge in one sitting. Parents who helped, then got shut out. Groom with a plan, mother with a spine. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't move. I counted my breath, watched the clock, and waited. 5 minutes later, the first crack split the day. A microphone hissed, a text lit my phone, and a secret hit the air. What he blocked at the door was about to blow open inside. Keep reading for how those 5 minutes turned a locked entrance into a turning point. Backstory: my bond with my daughter and early red flags about her fiancé. Before the door and the list and the guard, there was us. We spoke in shorthand. We knew each other's laugh from a room away. Then plans, vendors, and someone else's rules crept in, and the ground shifted under my feet. I did not see the crack at first. I felt it in missed calls, in the hum of a phone that would not ring back. We were close, then distance grew during wedding planning. 2 moments stay bright. Last summer, we spent a whole day fixing a thrifted dresser for her first place. Paint under our nails, radio on low, we talked about nothing and everything. She asked me to keep a spare key. We hugged in the driveway, warm and easy. In her senior year, we drove to Sunrise at the Overlook before school. She had a bad week. I brought donuts and coffee. She cried, then laughed at the powdered sugar on my shirt. She said, "You always show up." Then time got chopped into deposits, tour, and calendars. 3 months before, my calls started going to voicemail. I sent a photo of a veil she loved. No answer that day or the next. She texted back a week later with a heart, short and careful. 6 weeks before, she canceled our dress-fitting lunch with one line: "We're going with his family that night." We had a running Sunday check-in. 2 Sundays went quiet. I told myself she was busy, happy, stretched thin. I set my phone face up, waiting for the screen to bloom. The silence felt like walking past our old house and seeing new curtains in the window. Same place, new rules. I kept knocking. Meeting the fiancé. Control, image, and isolating moves. The first dinner, he held the conversation like it was a leash. She picked a story about a college trip. He cut in with, "What she means is," and steered it to his version. She went still, then smiled, that small smile she uses when she wants things to stay smooth. I swallowed the heat in my throat. Another night, they came by for engagement photos. She wore a blue sundress she bought with me. He paused at the door, glanced at her, and said, "Babe, the white one." He had the dress in a garment bag. She changed in the hallway. When she stepped out, he tugged the hem into place and nodded for the photographer to start. I watched my girl, the one who ran barefoot through sprinklers, become careful around a lens. He liked schedules. He sent me a spreadsheet of approved topics for the shower. He said it would keep things on brand. He talked about brand a lot. He called my name like he was reshuffling a deck, placing me where I would not cause ripples. It was firm, polite, neat. It felt like a door closing softly. His family pushed a perfect image and left me out. His mother called it a refined single-family image. Their phrase, not mine. One unified front, one narrative, one tone. They wanted the photos to reflect continuity. They wanted speeches to be aligned. They smiled while they said it, like they were offering me tea. The small cuts did the work. I was not added to the main group chat. I saw screenshots, cropped just tight enough that I missed context. Dates got picked there. Decisions settled there. They set vendor meetings during work hours, then sent me updates after deals were done. I asked about the florist. By the time I got the file, the color palette had a new name, and my suggestion was listed as optional. They planned a tasting 2 towns over. I found out when she sent a photo of a dessert plate with a caption, "So good," I typed. "Wish I was there." and watched the typing dots start, stop, and die. At the rehearsal invite, my name was on a second sheet with arrival after run-through. The note said, "Less crowding." I read it twice. Less crowding meant less me. I kept my replies short and kind. I did not want to make her choose. I wanted a seat that did not shrink every week. I paid some costs to help. Then he set new rules. I put down the dress deposit on the day we first cried happy tears in the mirror. I covered the flowers when the quote jumped after a venue swap. I bought the shower venue when the first place fell through. None of it was a burden. It felt like love, plain and simple. 2 weeks later, new rules landed in my inbox. All communication to vendors will go through me. Please do not discuss budget with the bride. It stresses her. For the shower, no speeches longer than 1 minute, and no childhood photos without review. I sat with those lines the way you hold a hot cup you cannot put down. I had receipts and hope, and now a script. I said yes to keep the peace. The peace kept shrinking. In the quiet after I clicked send, a small thought brushed past me. Maybe I was funding a day I would not get to stand inside. Wedding day shock. You are not welcome here at the venue door. I smelled roses and hairspray before I saw the lights. The glass doors winked, and string lights curled up the banister like a promise. For a second, it felt like we were fine. Then the promise snapped. A shoulder moved into my path. A palm hovered inches from my chest. The guard's radio hissed. My name hung in the air like smoke no one wanted to breathe. Every guest inside sounded close and far at the same time. The moment I arrived, and security stopped me. The entry was polished and bright. The carpet swallowed footsteps. My corsage wilted in the heat. "Stop right there," the guard said. "List." His eyes slid past me to the man behind him. "I'm her mother," I said. "I have a seat." His reply came clipped. "Not tonight." I felt the hallway tilt. I could have pushed. I could have pleaded. I lifted my chin and kept my voice even. I chose to stay calm. What he said, word for word, and who backed him up. He did not blink. He stood the way a closed door stands. "You are not welcome here," he said. Each word trimmed and neat, like a note taped to a locked cabinet. Behind him, Ben, his best man, shifted his weight and stared at the floor. His hands went to his pockets, then back out, fingers drumming the seam of his pants. One bridesmaid took a tiny step backward, eyes darting to the exit sign. No one reached for me. No one met my eyes for more than a second. Their shoulders were tight. Their smiles were nowhere. My heart pounded in my ears. I steadied my breath and kept my hands at my sides. I tried to call my daughter, but the team blocked me. I pulled out my phone and tapped her name. Once, twice, 3 times. Each call rang until it fell into voicemail. I texted, "I am here, at the door." The typing dots did not appear. The coordinator in a headset walked up with a practiced smile. "You'll need to leave the entrance," she said. "We are about to start." I asked her to please get my daughter. She tilted her head, a soft no that felt like a shove. The couple asked for no interruptions. My calls sat there unanswered, a row of blue bubbles that meant nothing. The guard's radio crackled again. I heard the first notes of the prelude drift down the hall, and it felt like someone shut a door on my chest from the inside. I stood still, spine straight, while the day moved without me. 5 minutes later, the ceremony stalled and the truth hit the room. The room had been moving on rails. Aisle runners straight, vows ready, music soft and steady. Then a flicker passed through the crowd, the kind that makes everyone sit up a little taller. What happened next was quick, quiet, and sharp. It started as a whisper and turned into a stop sign. You could feel the shift in the air, like the moment before a storm when the wind forgets to breathe. A cousin reached the bride, and the officiant paused. It traveled person to person. A cousin in the 3rd row leaned toward a bridesmaid. The bridesmaid touched the bride's elbow. The message landed with a nod that did not match her smile. The mic crackled. The officiant glanced at the front row, then the aisle. A small cough popped from somewhere near the center. He raised the binder, lowered it, and tried again. "Can someone please confirm that the bride's mother is here with us?" He did not fill the silence. The question sat on the arch like a weight. The bride's fingers tightened on her bouquet. The cousin's lips moved once more, softer now, as if a second version might hurt less. Guests whispered, the music cut, and people looked around. A thread of whispers pulled across the seats, not loud, just enough to shift shoulders. People turned their heads in pairs. A few guests stood an inch, then sat back down. The DJ pulled the volume down until the strings were a ghost of a song. A chair leg scraped. Someone cleared their throat. The best man stared at his shoes, then at the door, then back at the aisle. Nothing dramatic happened. No one shouted. But the room had a new center, and everyone felt it. Eyes darted to the entry. Hands found programs and folded the corners. A bridesmaid steadied her breath, lips pressed thin. The officiant waited. The room waited with him. My daughter asked one clear question. Where is my mom? She did not cry. She lifted her chin and searched the faces, row by row. Her eyes moved to the doorway, then to the empty seat meant for me. Where is my mom? The room went still. The bouquet did not tremble. The music stopped completely. For a heartbeat, the whole day held its breath. The confrontation. If my mom is out, I am out. Silence hit first, then the shift. Faces turned to the door, then back to the couple. You could feel the choice forming, clean and sharp. Control had run the day until this minute. Image sat in the front row, neat as a pressed suit. Then my daughter squared her shoulders and chose something truer. Face to face with the fiancé, control on full display. His jaw clenched, so tight a vein flickered at his temple. Stand down, he told the officiant. She is not invited, he said, eyes on me. She is my mother, my daughter said. If my mom is out, she said, I am out. He gave a small, dismissive wave, like flicking lint from a lapel. He chose image over family. She chose herself. She stepped back from the altar, one slow pace, spine straight. The room held the breath she no longer would. She looked at the empty seat and then at him, and all the rehearsed smiles drained from his face. The dress hem brushed the aisle like a whisper leaving the room. He glanced at the photographer, then at the audience, hunting for a save. She did not fill the quiet. She let it land. You could see the weight of every slight tilt to the surface and then slide off. He protected the picture. She protected her life. Vendors and staff reacted. The venue reset the plan. Movements were small, sure, practiced. The DJ's hand went to the mixer and unplugged a pair of braided cables. The planner pulled her clipboard close, checked 3 boxes, and nodded to her team. A server eased a tray onto a side table and stepped back. The room exhaled. Programs softened in hands. Chairs eased. No one rushed the moment. The staff shifted the day without a scene, just quiet work and clear steps. Music faded to a hush. The officiant closed his binder, waiting for direction. A bridesmaid released her grip on the bouquet ribbon. Plans changed in seconds. The tone changed for good. Aftermath and healing. What happened next? The silence after the venue felt louder than the music inside. We did not argue in the parking lot. We saved our breath for what mattered next. The mess was big, but the way out had to be simple, honest, and steady. He left with his parents. We went home together. He walked out with his parents, stiff as a suit on a hanger. No apology, no glance back, just the click of car doors and a tail light fatting at the bend. We drove home slow. The dress bag hung from the backseat hook, swaying with each stoplight. On the table, we set down 2 cartons of takeout and a small box of cake that never got sliced. The house smelled like sesame and roses from the corsage I kept anyway. She took off her shoes and sat on the floor, knees pulled close. I made tea and placed her favorite mug by her hand. No speeches, no rules, just the soft scrape of forks and the sound of us breathing in the same room. That night, she leaned her head on my shoulder and let the day slide off, piece by piece. Love looked like leftovers and a porch light that stayed on. Therapy, boundaries, and rebuilding trust. We made 2 promises the next morning. Keep it real, keep it kind. We would fix what we could and stop feeding what hurt us. First, we booked a therapist, one appointment then the next. We told the truth about control, shame, and the way silence eats trust. We learned phrases that kept us grounded like, "That does not work for me," and "I need time to think." It was not magic. It was work. And it was worth it. Second, we set a new phone rule about privacy. Her phone, her messages, her pace. No one reads over her shoulder. No one pressures for replies. We agreed on quiet hours after 8 p.m. and a simple boundary. If a text feels like a trap, it waits until morning. That small rule felt like a lock clicking open inside her chest. Rebuilding came in small wins. Clear calls. We spoke daily, not to rehash, but to plan. Shared decisions. She chose what to keep and what to drop from the wedding plan that was left. Healthy distance. We paused contact with anyone who demanded access and offered none of their own. It felt hopeful because it was ours. Not a performance, not a brand. Just a mother and daughter picking up real pieces and making something strong. How family and friends responded in the days after. The days after drew a line in soft pencil. People showed us who they were without saying much. Some checked in right away. A cousin brought soup and sat on the porch, no questions asked. My sister called each morning to ask, "Do you need a ride, a list, or a nap?" A neighbor left a bouquet and a note that read, "Proud of your spine." A college friend of hers sent a long message about respect and how love cannot breathe under rules. Their words felt like handrails. Others went quiet. A few scrolled our posts, then said nothing. One bridesmaid texted a single heart and faded out. A family friend who loves the spotlight only asked for updates, not feelings, then stopped when we offered boundaries. Silence has a sound. We heard it clearly. No nomming, no shamming. People choose how to show up. We chose to remember who stood in our doorway and who kept walking. Here is what we learned in the quiet. Support feels steady. It does not rush you or demand details. Silence speaks. It tells you where to stop knocking. Boundaries protect peace. They do not punish, they prevent. There is room for grace later. There is room for space now. We are not hunting villains. We are building a life that does not bend for control. Healing did not look like fireworks. It looked like small breakfasts, one shared calendar, and a list of numbers we do not owe replies to. It looked like a dress bag on a chair, not as a prop, but as proof that walking out of the wrong room is still a walk toward the right one. Lessons for readers. Red flags, boundaries, and what to do if you are excluded. What happened at that door was not a fluke. It was the end of a pattern. If you felt a chill reading it, trust that feeling. Here is how to spot control early, set firm wedding rules that protect you, and keep your dignity if someone tries to push you out. Red flags, when a partner tries to isolate you from family. They rewrite your stories in front of you, then say you misremember. They pick fights before family events, then use the tension to cancel. They control schedules and money, then frame it as helping. They shame private affection, photos, or traditions as off-brand. They push for secrets, silence, and one point of contact that is them. How to set wedding boundaries that protect you. Start with a clear agreement on respect. Say it aloud, write it down, and keep it simple. No surprise bans, no smear texts, no rewriting invites after they are sent. Respect means adults speak directly, not through whispers or group chats. Choose a neutral planner or coordinator. Pick someone who is not tied to either family. Their job is to keep the plan, track changes, and flag any power plays. If there is pressure to replace them with a relative, that is your first test. Write non-negotiables and share them in one page. Keep it short. Examples. Both parents attend, vendor access is shared, no security used to block family, no last-minute seating changes without consent, no edits to vows or speeches without approval. If someone pushes back, you have your answer. What to do if you are banned from a family event. Send calm proof of intent. One text or email that says, "I am here to support, I will be respectful, I plan to sit in my assigned seat." Attach the invite or seating note if you have it. Keep it brief and kind. Use one trusted go-between. Pick a person the couple trusts, give them a single message, and stop there. No group blasts. No gossip. One bridge is stronger than 10 broken ones. Plan a safe exit. Decide how long you will wait, where you will go if things go south, and who you will call. Bring your keys, park where you can leave fast, and keep your head up. No scenes, no threats, no chasing. Protect your peace. Would you have called off the wedding? Drop your take like a Reddit comment. AITA-style verdicts, quick judgments, or a one-line story where a boundary saved you. Comment with your call and a similar moment you saw blow up or heal. 5 minutes after I was barred, the story flipped. The groom guarded an image, my daughter chose respect. That choice is the heartbeat of this post and the lesson that lasts. Control looks tidy, then it cracks. Family, trust, and clear boundaries hold when the picture shatters. Carry this with you. If someone edits you out to keep their shine, step back and keep your dignity. Call in the people who stand steady. Protect your peace, write your non-negotiables, and leave any room that needs you quiet to function. Love cannot breathe inside a script. If this hit close, share your take below and tell a time you chose yourself over someone's show. More stories like this are coming, with tools you can use when a line gets crossed. The first door closed on me with a guard at the hinge. The next one opened to my daughter's voice and the sound of us walking through together.